I'm Rolene Marks. Thank you for joining me right here on the Israel Brief, brought to you as always by Lay of the Land, where we check out the top stories making headlines in Israel and surround. So let's get into it, and we begin with an exclusive for the Times of Israel. Now, this was published earlier today, and it is believed that US officials have made known to Prime Minister Yair Lapid that the Iranians, at least for the moment, will not sign a nuclear treaty. Now, yesterday, the Prime Minister said that it is too soon to tell whether or not the nuclear deal in its current iteration will go through. However, this is the noise that the Times of Israel are reporting, at least through this exclusive. Now, the reason they're saying this, the Iranians, is that they do not want the IAEA engaged in any kind of monitoring or probe. So what this means is that the uranium that Iran has been enriching, that it is believed to be at a level used for weapons rather than just energy, will either have to be moved out of Iran or diluted. Now, yesterday, our Prime Minister Yair Lapid stood next to an F-35. Many are saying that this is a symbol of strength, a message straight to Iran saying, don't test us. We are prepared for any scenario. And you will recall we have spoken quite a bit on this broadcast that the Israeli officials, whether it be our Prime Minister, our President yesterday in Germany, the head of the Mossad, the head of the Defense Ministry, have all embarked on a campaign, quite an aggressive campaign, to let the world understand just how much of a threat Iran poses, not just to Israel or our region, but to the world as a whole. On the subject of Iran, Albania's President Edi Rama has said with immediate effect Albania will be ending all diplomatic ties with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, this follows a cyber attack by the Iranians against the Albanians in July this year. And after investigations, it was decided by the Albanian government to completely cut off ties. They have given Iranian diplomats and embassy staff 24 hours to leave the country. The United States has also condemned Iran's cyber attack on Albania and saying there will be consequences. We have been covering President Herzog's visit to Germany quite extensively this week, as he has been in the country to mark the 50th anniversary of the 1972 Munich Olympic massacre that saw 11 Israeli athletes murdered by Black September terrorists. Yesterday, the president, accompanied by German President Steinmeier, visited the Bergen Belsen concentration camp. Now, President Herzog recalled the visit of his father some 40 years ago in his capacity as a president, and also spoke about how his father was one of the first British troops to liberate the Bergen Belsen concentration camp, and the president vowed that he will, without compromise, and it is our duty without compromise, to fight xenophobia, anti-Semitism and racism. And we begin with we end with another story that just refuses to go away. In fact, I think we're developing lactose intolerance and acid reflux. Ben & Jerry's, yes, Ben & Jerry's again, have said that they will be refiling their suit against parent company Unilever. They apparently are objecting to the fact that Unilever has concluded a deal with the local manufacturer of Ben & Jerry's to continue to sell the ice cream to what they call the occupied territories. They're going to put their bid into a New York federal court, and this could be done as soon as next week. I think we are all done with Ben and Jerry's independent board and their, I don't know what you want to call it, sulking, their smarminess with regards to Israel. So that brings us to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check us out on our website at www.layoftheland.online. We're on Facebook at Lottel's site. We're on YouTube at the Israel Brief. Please, if you're watching there now, consider subscribing by clicking on that red subscribe button. And we're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolly Marks. This is the Israel Brief. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow for your top stories.